there can be so many different claims. We tend to talk about three, but there's really four different insurance policy claims, and there can be five, depending. But let's talk. So we've talked about property damage. The property damage claim is usually a separate claim, and then you have what's called the PIP in Kansas. So this is Kansas specific. Different states have different kinds of versions of this law. Sometimes it's called MedPay, meaning medical payments. Uh, but in Kansas, we have what we call personal injury protection, and that is a statutorily created law which requires uh, every vehicle's insurance policy to have this, and it is coverage for you that front pays regardless of fault. So sometimes it's also called a no fault provision. And so, regardless of fault, you have personal injury protection benefits for you. And so, if you're in an accident, you get those benefits. The minimum benefits on that are $4,500 in medical, $900 per month in lost wages. So, not that much. But really, when you look at the policy reason, I remember listening to, or when I was first learning how to do these cases, Dad would explain it the same way. My dad started this law firm, and he would explain it. Well, before you had PIP, everybody would sue each other uh, or the hospitals would start suing plaintiffs before the end of the claim. And so this is a way for those medical payments to get made without hospitals suing individuals. And 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 that the PIP policy has been in place for a really long time. But certainly the third claim that we talk about is the liability claim, which is the claim against the at-fault driver. That literally does take years, or it can take years, to get to a jury to determine what is owed by that liability insurance company. And so certainly hospitals and medical providers were not getting paid for a really long period of time. So the legislature stepped in and required insurance companies to provide this additional benefit to get some of these medical bills paid. How that makes sense in our current healthcare system is maybe a different question. Well, it's a policy question. Um, so all of that is to say, what you need to know is if you're in an accident, the first payment of medical bills is through your personal injury protection coverage, which is your insurance, which confuses most, maybe not most, but a lot of our clients. They're like, well, why is my insurance paying this medical bill? It's their fault. Shouldn't theirs pay it? And it is for that reason. It's to get the treatment covered. But most people also only have the minimum coverage. So that is 4,500. That's taken up by an ER visit easily. Uh, um, in fact, it's been a while since we've had an ER visit that isn't at least 4,500. And part of that is probably because of the policy, but that's kind of a complicated economics
Hmm.
question.
I haven't thought of
Uh,
that before.
but well, um,
Hospitals know not to charge less than $4,500 for their car accident.
I would say a lot of providers do. There's a lot of good chiropractors out there that know that there's this $4,500 benefit that they can bill against, uh, and that's part of their business model, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it just creates a market for it.
So what do you
Uh,
do? Let's say you went to the ER, that ate up your whole $4,500, but you still need a lot more treatment. So what
yeah.
happens now?
So at that point, uh, you need a PIP exhaust letter from your insurance company, and you need to get that to uh, both. We send it to both the providers and your regular health insurance. And that's very important because your regular health insurance knows that there's this PIP benefit in Kansas. And so they won't make a payment until that's exhausted. And so that is a hiccup we see all the time. Uh, well, that's hyperbolic. It's a frequent hiccup that we see.
Hmm. Well,
And so
yeah, I was just going to say there's also, along with that exhaust letter, the PIP will write a log of payments that they've made. And I've encountered situations where the health insurance will ask for the log too,
yeah,
before they're willing to kick in.
yeah, yeah. And really the only insurance provider that's not really aggressive at making sure PIP is exhausted has been lately Kansas Medicaid will issue payments first, and that's kind of odd, um, but something we've seen lately. That's changed over the course of my career,
Mm-hmm.
but with the latest contractors, that's been the case. Um, so so that's the first thing you need to know is your car insurance pays first through PIP for your medical bills. And then once that's exhausted, your regular health insurance takes over.